Hello and welcome back to the Oxbridge Formula. Today I'm here with Leah and we're going to be talking about Selwyn College in Cambridge. So,
Hello.
hello, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Um, my name's Leah. I'm just finished my first year doing linguistics at Cambridge, at Selwyn College. I come from a state comprehensive school, and yeah, I applied to Selwyn. Oh yeah, I applied to Selwyn and then got accepted by Selwyn. I didn't get pulled there.
Okay, nice. So why did you pick Selwyn?
I think there were a few reasons. So I didn't actually manage to make it to an open day before I went to Cambridge. So I would recommend going to an open day if you can. Because of that, I was mostly going on things I'd heard on the internet because I don't have like I didn't have any connections in Cambridge before I went. So I relied a lot on things I went on the internet. Um, Things that I'd read about the college, like of that past students had said, and I think a lot of it was probably to do with location and first year accommodation, the two most important reasons why I applied there. But now I would never have applied anywhere else. I think that is what tends to happen.
Yeah, you do just fall completely in love with your
Yeah,
college
you
rather
do.
than,
Can't
yeah.
imagine going anywhere else.
Oh, that's so nice. So you said the two things you love about Selwyn is the location and the accommodation, right?
Mhm.
So where is it located in the city?
So it's located right next to, literally right next, like there is a gate in the gardens that leads onto the Sidgwick site, which is where all of your arts and humanities students will have all of your lectures and supervisions. So essentially, if you're someone who likes getting out of bed late, you can just wake up and immediately be at your lectures within like 5 minutes.
That's
It's,
ideal.
it's yeah, it's great. So that was one of the main reasons I applied, so I wouldn't have a massive trek to lectures every morning.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like I'd say about a 10-minute walk from the centre of the city, but it is a lovely walk because you can go right through King's College. They just let you in through the back of King's College, so
Oh,
it is a
nice.
really beautiful walk. So if you're someone who is a humanities student and you would prioritise the idea of being really close to your lectures, because that is where you're going to be a lot of the time, and
Mm.
you can like pop back to college between lectures and things then. So that is really, really helpful. That was one of the main reasons I applied.
That's really amazing. I think location is quite important for some people, like to be close to your lectures, and the fact they're only
Yeah.
10 minutes away from the city centre, and like you can just walk through Kings. That's like
Oh yeah, it's
really
definitely not one
perfect.
of the colleges that are really far out from the city centre.
Like Girton.
Yeah. Oh my
Wait,
goodness,
is
it's
that in
so far
Cambridge?
away.
Yeah. Okay, so cool. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your college facilities and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously most colleges, I think every college has their own college library. But what do you
Mhm.
think makes the Selwyn Library special?
Well, the interesting thing about that is that we're actually getting a new library built right now.
Oh.
It was supposed to be finished this summer, but because of the virus, it's been pushed back a little bit. It's going to be finished sometime during the next year. And that is, if you look at the building, is the new building absolutely gorgeous. It's like a huge 3-story building, and there's been an auditorium being built as well there for open lectures and things like that. So the new library, when it opens in a few months, is just going to be absolutely fantastic. It looks like really modern, but also really cozy, which is like the right balance for a library. Because sometimes you just want somewhere where you can curl up if you just have to get reading to do, but it also
Yeah.
is going to have obviously all of the facilities that you need. It's going to be really brand new as well, so that's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, that's really cool. A super new modern library. So if that's
Yeah.
been being built, where have you been like doing library stuff?
So we do have our old library, which I really like the Selwyn College library because it is really sort of cozy. It has like a really homely feel. Um, Unfortunately, that library is not going to be open for much longer, but I'm sure the new
Okay.
one will be even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that library, we've had that library. I think it was built as a war memorial, so it's been around quite a while, and
Oh.
it's really well stocked with books and everything. It's a really good library, especially if well, all I can say is from a linguist point of view, it's got everything I've needed really. So.
That's really good. And is it 24 hours first of all?
Um, I don't think it's 24 hours. I think it closes at like 2 in the morning. So
Okay.
it is nearly 24 hours.
Do you spend a lot of time in there to like work and things?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I do pretty much all my work in the library, and I love the Selwyn College library. You also will have your subject library and the university library. Oh, that's another thing. Selwyn is literally 5-minute walk away from the university library. So especially when you're in higher years, the university library is also literally right on your doorstep. So that's where all of the really sort of specialist books are and stuff like that.
That's really, really good. It's like a really great situation, like great location.
Yeah, it's a really good location. The only thing
Yeah.
it's slightly further away from is the city centre.
But I suppose even then, like it's like similar to my college in Oxford, like we're slightly out the centre, but we're in a really nice location, and the walk into the city
Yeah,
centre is about a 5-10 minute walk, but it's beautiful. So I don't think it's
yeah.
that much of a problem. Does that mean you get less tourists walking around the college then?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was originally, like way back when I was first considering applying, thinking of applying to King's, but I was totally put off because of the amount of tourists. Selwyn there are literally no tourists. It's always like, it's never got that sort of busy, massive city centre feel. It's always like really peaceful.
That's really, really good. I think that's really important for a college as well because
Mm.
like it is your home. So like you want it to be peaceful and chill, like to come
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to it.
definitely.
Like, yeah. So yeah, so obviously you do spend a lot of time in the library at uni. But what about things like a college bar? Do you have a college bar?
Yeah, so Selwyn has a college bar that was refurbished the year before. So it opened when I started in September. And it's really, really lovely. It's all like really new because it was just refurbished. It has it was also a cafe during the day. So I spend a lot of time in there because they do all of the like hot chocolates and the coffees and things and the cakes, and you can just like sit and chill. So
That's
it's like
nice.
it functions as a cafe during the day and a bar during the night. So those are both two really good things.
Yeah. So do they serve like biscuits and cakes and sandwiches and things in the day?
Yeah, yeah, paninis and stuff like that, and also all of the normal cafe stuff. And then at night it turns into a bar. So if you want to find someone before or after a formal, that is where they'll be.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a classic like Oxbridge place to
Yeah.
go after your formal. And how much is a pint in the bar?
Oh, I don't actually drink, so I don't
Oh,
know.
that's very fair.
From what I've heard though, it's not too expensive. I know this because I've seen people buy a lot of drinks there. So
Yeah, that would suggest that it's not too
yeah.
bad then. Do you have like a signature college drink as well?
Um, I don't think so. I know that they have a Selwyn College port that they serve at really fancy
Ooh.
formals, but I don't think that counts.
That's very bougie, like someone college
Yeah, I know.
sports.
That's very posh. That's like one of the poshest things I've encountered since I've been there.
So do you get it free at formals and things?
So different colleges do different ways of serving alcohol at formals. So Selwyn, they don't serve alcohol at formals unless it's a really fancy formal, like it's the Christmas formal or it's the super formal at the end of the year. But you can buy your own alcohol in the bar and then bring it in to the formal.
Okay.
But some colleges like St John's, they have an option where you can have wine served to you at the formal. So that's just like different between different colleges, I think.
Well, that's quite interesting. I didn't know that like it varied
Yeah.
that much between colleges. So that's really interesting. And you said you have a super formal at the end of every year. Is it just one a year?
Um, I went to one last year, but I have a feeling actually it's one at the end of every term.
Okay.
So, and then they also have the Christmas formal, and I went to the Christmas formal, and it was just magical. They had the big Christmas tree up, the choir did a performance
Oh.
in the hall, and that was really incredible.
Yeah, I think like the Christmas formals are so special and
Yeah, they
like
are.
really like make you appreciate where you are. So
Yeah.
how often does Selwyn have formals like normally?
So Selwyn has formals twice a week on Tuesday and a Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard across all the colleges to have them twice a week. But you don't have to go to the formals, so they still have normal hall on before the formals. So you can just go to that if you want, or you can pay a bit extra and you can go to the formal later on, and that's when you get all dressed up and in your gown and everything.
Okay, so you wear a gown at Selwyn.
Yeah, you do. At
Yeah.
Selwyn, you wear a gown to your formals.
Can you give me like an example menu for a formal at Selwyn?
I actually have one, like
Oh,
right here.
amazing. That's so good. Oh wow,
I
cool.
came prepared. This was from the super formal. So the starter was broccoli and Cambridge blue soup. So that was like broccoli and blue cheese. That was really good. They often do soup for starters, but I've also had things like smoked salmon
Okay, yeah.
and stuff like that. There's always a vegetarian and meat main, like you can choose. And the meat one here was seared duck breast with a red wine and plum sauce, which was
Ooh.
really good, I remember. And the vegetarian was cauliflower steak with tomato, pepper, and saffron sauce.
Oh, that also
And then
sounds really
that's
good.
served with like potatoes and veg. And then there's dessert. So the normal formals are 3 courses. This was brown sugar and Greek yogurt parfait with rosemary poached pear and Melba toast, which sounds very fancy. I remember it being like a frozen yogurt type thing with
Okay.
the pear on the side and like almost like a wafer biscuit type thing.
Oh wow, that sounds really
And then
nice.
after that, they do the coffee and you get the little chocolate mints.
The chocolate mints are good. Good way
Oh,
to
they're
end the
so good.
meal. Yeah. So, what's the difference between a formal and a super formal? Is it just that you're served wine at the super formals?
So the super formal, you have a cheese course as well.
Oh,
And
nice.
I think a super formal is black tie, but a normal formal is just like formal dress. So there's a slight difference there, but I don't think it makes much of a difference in what you're wearing.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's quite interesting. And what would you say the food is generally like at Selwyn, like day to day?
Um, I really like the food at Selwyn. The best part is definitely on Saturdays and Sundays they do brunch at 11 in the hall, and you just have like a massive selection. You have literally everything you could ever want. They do on Saturdays they do like specials. So one of them was I think poached egg with fried peppers and tomatoes. And they've done
Oh,
smoked salmon before. Um, and on the Sundays they have like the full English. They have loads of pastries. They have like the cereal and the fruit salads and the stuff like that.
that's
That's the
really,
best
really
part of
good.
the brunch. It's like an institution.
No, I definitely relate. I mean, obviously you don't drink, but I know like sometimes when I will drink on a weekend, like waking up to brunch is like, I need this so much. And it's
Yeah.
like the highlight of the week, you know?
Yeah, literally everyone, no matter what kind of a state they're in from last night, they will be at brunch.
Yeah. But like I guess it's a really nice social occasion as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just
Yeah.
you see all of your friends there. It's absolutely lovely.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. And how much would brunch normally cost you?
Um, no more than like £4, I think, because they charge it by item, so you can get basically as much or as little as you want. And I think it's 50p for I think like two hash browns or two sausages or something like that. So then you can essentially you can just sort of mix and match. But yeah, I don't think I've ever spent more than like £4, £4.50 at brunch.
That's really, really good. And I guess it is like
Mm.
really well subsidized by the college. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
do you normally have like breakfast, lunch, dinner on weekdays and then brunch and dinner on weekends?
Yeah, those are the things that Hall offers. We don't have to go to Hall for all of them.
Yeah.
One of the things at Selwyn is that because it's right next to Sidgwick site where loads of the lectures are, and loads of the lecturers and students from Sidgwick site come to Selwyn for lunch. So the lunches are always really, really nice. That like impress the rest of the people, make them a
No
bit
way.
jealous.
That's so good. Can you give an example
Yeah.
of a lunch at Selwyn?
Oh, I've had like they did like a fish. I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of white fish with like a crumb over the top, and then they would have like loads of selection of potatoes that you could have, and then there'd always be veg and also a massive salad bar as well with like things like couscous and potato salad and pasta salad, and also like the lettuce, tomato, and stuff to make your own salad.
And how much does that normally cost then?
Um, I'd say that meals in Selwyn on average are maybe about £5, but brunch is a bit cheaper because brunch I think is always really good value.
Yeah.
I'd say the prices for the normal hall and Selwyn are pretty average for across all the colleges.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, it's nice that like you have that option because you obviously have so much work, so it's nice to have like a place to go for food that's
Oh yeah,
convenient.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
But if you did want to cook yourself, what are the kitchen facilities like at Selwyn?
So in the first year accommodation, and I think this is pretty standard for the rest of the accommodation as well, you get you have a jip, which is like a small kitchen, and it has a fridge and a microwave and a hob with like four like cooking rings. You don't have an oven or a freezer, but that's pretty common. Like it's pretty rare that you'll get a college with an oven or a freezer.
Okay.
So if you're thinking like if you are set on doing loads and loads of baking, then that might not be great. But for me, I did like meal prep in the kitchen. I cooked breakfasts and lunches and dinners in the kitchen, and it was completely fine.
Yeah, I suppose that you do just adapt your like eating habits to something
Yeah,
that
definitely.
suits your kitchen. And are there quite a lot in all the accommodation blocks? Is there like quite good access to kitchens, or are they like quite
Yeah.
busy?
So in first year, you share it with up to 8 people, but there was never a time when I thought that it was too crowded or I couldn't make something because there were too many other people in there. Because some people will never cook and they'll just always go to hall. Some people will cook really late and you might cook earlier, or like the other way around. So and also it's like a really social experience as well. Like you might cook things together, like make a big meal that everyone on your corridor can have. So
Oh,
I always felt like there was a good access to kitchens and things in the first year.
that's good because it is important to have
Yeah,
access to that for sure, especially for people who have like special dietary requirements and things like that.
yeah.
Also, talking of that, is Hall good at providing food for people with dietary requirements?
Yeah, it is. They label every like food thing with what allergies it has in and like if it's
That's
halal
good.
and stuff like that. There's an online menu as well, so you can sort of see in advance what there is, and that will I think that will be labeled with like the allergies and stuff. And like the different options that they have, like there's always a vegan option and then different meat options as well. And I know that anyone in my year that had like pretty severe food allergies, they put them all on the same corridor, so they would like be able to understand like the processes, the things they had to do, so they would be able to keep their kitchen like really safe.
That's like really good to put in place for sure. That's really, really good. Um, so I guess yeah, food is obviously a very, very important part of your
That's very true.
life at Cambridge. I often find myself like working in the library and I just sit there looking forward to my tea at night, like
Oh
I just
yeah,
want to eat.
definitely.
Yeah.
I want to go. Oh, just the thought of Hull right now. I just wish I was back there.
Yeah, I know, I miss it so much too. I like totally relate. Um, but yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about accommodation. So like, what is it like in first year? Are freshers sort of housed together?
Yeah, so I think the best thing, before I start talking specifically about first year, the best thing about Selwyn accommodation is that all of the accommodation for all of the years is within like a 2 minute walk of each other and a 1 minute walk of the hall where you eat and the bar and the main sort of college area and the college gardens and stuff like
Oh
that.
wow.
So some colleges you have accommodation that's scattered like all over the city. So you could end up living in like a completely separate location to where like your hall is and where your main college is. But at Selwyn, because it's all so close together, it has a real community feel. But all the freshers are housed in the same block, which is Cripps Court, and that was refurbished, I think, in 2014. So the rooms there are really nice. They have the gyps, which you share between 8 people, up to 8 people, and they're all en suite as well,
Oh wow.
which is pretty rare. That's one of the reasons I applied. Was to get those coveted ensuite first year rooms. All of
Yes.
them in Selwyn in the first year are ensuite, and they have like a massive desk, a big board where you can put things up on the wall. It's really I found the rooms like pretty spacious. I always had this idea of uni halls being like really tiny, you couldn't fit all your stuff in, but no, the ones at Selwyn, the first year accommodation, I think is actually really nice.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Especially like first year rooms being en suite. And it's really nice that freshers are housed together because I suppose it makes it
Yeah,
easier to make friends.
it makes it an absolute community because Selwyn isn't the smallest college, but it's one of the smaller colleges. So you pretty much get to know everyone in your year, and especially from like seeing them around the accommodation and everything. It's really nice to all be housed together. You'll all be in 3 or maximum 4 staircases, so you pretty much live near all of your friends.
Yeah, that's really, really ideal for sure. And then I guess like second and third year, maybe even fourth year. So are you housed, is it all on site, the accommodation?
Yeah, it's all right, really near the hall and the college and everything like that. That is one of the best things because it is a real community. No matter where your accommodation is for second year, you're always like a 5 minute walk away from your friends.
That's really nice. And then are those rooms also en suite or are there a range?
So in first year you're in Cripps Court, which is all en suite. Second, third year you can be in either Anne's Court, which is like a newer court. I think it was built in like 2005, and all those are en suite. Or you
Hmm.
can be in Old Court, which was the first court. It was built in like the 1880s, and in Old Court they don't have ensuite rooms. So essentially, you will be able to choose whether you want an ensuite one or not. But if you need an ensuite room for like medical reasons, or if you need any kind of room for medical reasons, they are so nice about it. They let you can just talk to your tutor, and then they will let you pick your own room. which fulfills whatever requirements you need, and also bring some of your friends with you so that you know that you're all going to be together. And there's also houses which are always in pretty high demand, and they have like bigger kitchens. I think some of them have ovens in, but they don't have ensuite rooms either.
Okay, so the houses, are they on site too, or are they just like down the street a little bit?
They're all like along basically all of Selwyn's accommodation is along Grange Road, and all the houses are
Okay.
along Grange Road as well. They're all within like a 5-minute walk again of the hall.
That's
They're
really,
all
really good. Yeah. And so do you pay less for ensuite accommodation than for the other accommodation?
You pay more for ensuite accommodation than for rooms with a shared bathroom.
Oh, sorry, I
Yeah,
meant more for
yeah.
ensuite. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's like banded.
the ensuite ones do cost slightly more.
Okay. Nice, yeah, that's fair enough. And then I
Yeah.
guess they assign via a ballot system?
Yeah, so essentially, if you don't have any medical requirements, you can ballot with up to 5 friends. You basically put your names on a piece of paper, and then you're all put in random order, and then you get to choose your rooms in that order. And then for the next year, so for third year, the ballot order is reversed. So if you're at the very bottom and you only had the pick of the last few rooms in your second year, you'll be at the very top, and you'll get the pick of the bunch in third year.
But yeah, that's really, really good. And I think it's a nice way of keeping friends together because at my college in Oxford, it's like you are completely separate in the ballot and you don't ballot
Oh
with
yeah.
friends at all. Yeah. So you just have to plan it with your friends to try and get the same room. But if people take those rooms, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
that that's like an option at your college for sure. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess also really, really important in college, it's great that freshers live together so they get to meet each other because it can be quite a stressful place. Do you think there's a lot of welfare provisions in Selwyn?
Yeah, definitely. So in your first week, Freshers Week is like always like crazy busy. You have meetings with all of these people. You have like a massive timetable of events you can go to. But they make sure in your first week that you meet your director of studies, who's essentially there for all of your academic things, like choosing your papers for second year and like making sure that you're keeping up your work and things like that. But you also meet your tutor and the college chaplain. And
Okay.
your tutor is like your main link to all of the welfare things that the university offers. So like the university counselling service and all different things like that. If you ever have absolutely any issue whatsoever that is like not an academic issue, you can go straight to your tutor and talk about it. Like if you want to access the university counselling service, or like me, if you are having issue with room balloting, or if you literally have any questions, you can go to your tutor. And then the college chaplain as well, his name's Hugh. He is actually so lovely. He's always makes a point of saying like the chapel and the chaplain are there for people of all faiths and none. So if you, for some reason, don't want to talk to your tutor, he's also always there for you to go and talk to. And they really make a point of meeting you and introducing you into how you can access all the welfare system. So I think there is such great support there in the college.
Yeah, I think that's really, really nice and really important. And obviously, it's nice to have welfare at that level as well, at that high level from the tutors, because I mean, they're the ones that at the end of the day are going to be able to implement like big changes, like large scale changes. Whereas I suppose student welfare officers can only do like, I mean, obviously they help so much, but obviously at a lower level. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice that you've got that. So what are
But
the student
we do
welfare?
have the student welfare officers
Yeah.
as well. We have the gender equality officer and the LGBT officer, and all sorts of different officers in the JCR, the accommodation officer, and they are also like really approachable. And
Oh,
if
that's
you
really
have any
good.
issues, you can go and talk to them as well. So you can essentially, you have the pick of the bunch for who you feel comfortable talking to for different things.
And what sort of events do like the officers, student officers run? Because I know at my college we have like welfare teas and there's like a disability tea and LGBTQ prees, etc. So like what sort of things do you do?
Yeah, so for Freshers Week, we had like a big range of events. Like we had a mini Selwyn College Freshers Fair, which was like all of the different Selwyn societies. They have a tea every Sunday, like a welfare tea, where they provide like free drinks, free snacks. And there's also a Selwyn Feminist Society, and they organize like so many little events, from things like welfare events where you can go and like do like movie nights or arts and crafts nights, to things more to do with the feminist society. So like throughout lockdown, they've been doing reading groups where they send out different texts every week. This week we're reading Why I'm No Longer Talking About Race to White People. And then we have like a discussion group over Zoom where we like talk about the text and about our thoughts on it. So they organize like all sorts of different things.
That's really, really cool. And I guess that's like a really nice community to be part of. And like,
Yeah, definitely.
and I guess like feminism is such an important issue, and to have like a group of like-minded people around you is like super important. So that's really, really
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
Is there any other like events that go on in Selwyn to do with like diversity and equality and things?
Yeah, so the Feminist Society is the one that is mostly in charge of organising all these different events. Were back when we were actually living in accommodation, they had like speakers come in to do sessions talking about I forgot exactly what I forgot exactly what they were, but they had all sorts of different like feminist speakers coming in to talk about feminist issues, and they had and they had a library exhibition as well where all of like the writers Selwyn, especially women and non-binary people, could like submit their own work, and it was all exhibited in the library and in different places around the college. So they are really like, they were only founded this year as well, so
Whoa.
they really are like on it with all of the diversity and inclusion.
That's really, really good, and it is such like an important part of life at uni, and especially Oxford and Cambridge, because they've got a rep of being, you know, like white and posh and, you know, etc. So like it is really important that we're breaking that stigma and doing what we can to change that. So that's really, really good that Selwyn is part of that change. And I guess on a less serious note, do your college have bops and things like that?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Tell me about them.
In Freshers Week, they had like the Freshers Bop, which was just like, they had all the music on, they had all the lights on, they had like the cheap alcohol being served. It was like your classic college bop, honestly. And there's also been things since that, like the Halloween bop and the college family bop, which was like themed, like you dress up as a famous family. We did the Weasleys from Harry Potter.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there are always there were especially bops like that in Freshers Week. You know, in Freshers Week they're a good way to meet people, but
yeah, they are crazy, I guess. Like crazy
yeah.
times. How does Selwyn do bops? Because I've noticed that different colleges do bops a different way, and like I suppose people don't really notice or realise that it happens. But I'm just quite interested in how Selwyn do theirs.
So there's like a sort of meeting area in Cripps Court called the Diamond, and it's essentially just like a hall, like a small, just sort of normal hall thing that they can use. Like the Feminist Society used it for their events, they use it for their entrance exams, and that's where they do all the bops. It has a little bar there, so that's where they serve the drinks out of. But there are other events that are sometimes hosted in the actual college bar, which is in Old Court, and in the JCR as well, which is like it's like loads of sofas, it's like a TV, it's got a TV room. So there's different places where you can host the events.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And what's your favourite bop memory?
Oh my goodness. I think it has to be the getting dressed up as Ron Weasley, and our college mum bought us like this ginger spray on hair dye that we all wore, and honestly like it just completely stained everything because I tried to take my shirt off while I still had the hair dye on, and it was a disaster. I was in the shower and it was just running orange.
So when you dressed as like the Weasley family, was it your college family dressed up as the Weasleys?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's it. It's just for the viewers. A college family is sort of when you come to Oxford, you're given like a college mum or dad, or two college mums or two college dads, or maybe there's three parents, who knows. But basically it's just like older years who basically are there to guide you like through your time, and it's like a really great pull for calling the year above. And the cool thing is that it continues obviously through the generations, so that like in your fourth year you'll be like a great grandma or a great granddad, and it's like a really fun thing to be part of.
It's a good way to meet people, and it's also a good way because there was no other linguists in my year at Selwyn, which is quite unusual because they usually do have more than one linguist per year, but it just didn't work out that way. So I got to meet linguists in the higher years because my college mum was a linguist. So that was a really good way of like connecting with someone who had done the subject, who knows what I was talking about.
And you can sort of steal their notes and things and get advice. Yeah, that's really nice. So how often do you use like the college parent system, as in like how often do you go to your mum for advice and for some help, etc.?
I think that really differs from person to person.
Yeah.
Personally, like, it was really important for me at the very start because it was someone who I could go to. Like, we met up in their cafe and to talk about my subject and what I was struggling with, and we went to the college family formal and stuff like that. Um,
Oh.
so for some people, it's more of just like something at the start that can really help you, like, um get going and like find your way in the college.
Yeah.
But for some people, they find like real friends in their college family, and they like continue through the year. And it's like, I think for me, it was a really important way of making friends and getting to know people as well.
Yeah, I think it's like a really nice scheme they've got in place, and I think that also helps with like welfare and things like that because
Oh,
you have got that
definitely.
port of call. Yeah, definitely. Um, and yeah, you mentioned about your JCR before. So can you tell me a little bit more about your JCR? Like what's in it? Because yeah, different colleges have like pool tables and TV rooms and things like that. So I just want to know a bit more about Selwyn.
Yeah, so the JCR is essentially, it stands for Junior Combination Room, I think. And it's a group of it's a room in the college, which is essentially like a common room. You can just like go there and chill. It has loads of sofas. There's a separate TV room which you can hire out for movie nights and things like that. And you can hire that out either just with your friends or through a society like a feminist society movie night. And they also have a pool table, ping pong table. It's just like a really comfy, like cozy little space to just sort of sit and chill. And it's also the name for a group of people who are in charge of like the student welfare. So you'll have like the student accommodation officer and the LGBT officer and the men and women's officers, um, who are all there essentially to support you, and they're like just another way of contacting the welfare system.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to note is that there is like two sides to the JCR.
Yeah,
Like
it means
there's
two different things.
yeah, because people get so confused, and I was so confused before going to Oxbridge. But yeah, I think just know that it is a room, like a physical room, but also like a committee, a body of people
Yeah,
who like oversee the undergraduate student body. And there's also like an MCR and SCR, so like postgrads and then
yeah,
like fellows and things. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's something you get used to at Oxbridge. Like it becomes everyday
You learn a
language.
lot of new words.
You do so much like weird lingo. And then do you have any college balls? Because I know that's a very popular thing at Cambridge.
Yeah, it is. So, Selwyn College is actually the only college in Cambridge that has a winter ball. It's called the Snowball, and it is just absolutely amazing and spectacular, and was the best night of my life when I went. That's every single year they have one of those.
That's cool.
Obviously, I can't speak for what they're going to be doing this year because the virus is kind of a unusual situation, but in normal times they have one every single year, and it's the only college that has one. So if you're from Selwyn and you want to go, you get a slightly discounted ticket price, and you get like a guaranteed ticket. But also people come from every college in Cambridge to go, and so they will enter like a ballot system, and then if they get like if they're lucky enough to get a ticket, then obviously they'll be able to come. And when I went, it had three different stages. The one in the main hall, which was like all of the big acts. They had like an ABBA tribute band and people from S Club 7. That was just incredible. And they
So
had a
cool.
stage in the chapel, which was for more like acoustic acts. That was really nice to just like sit and relax. Um, and they also had a stage in the SCR, which was the jazz stage, and they had like a cocktail bar there, and they were serving food all night, and there was tents, and there was massive decorations all over the lawn. It was just incredible.
Yeah, I think balls are such like amazing events. I'm
They are.
intrigued as to what kind of food stalls there were.
So there was a donut stall. There was a marquee tent that was doing like that did sort of all different things throughout the whole night. So they had like pastry selections, like savory pastries, and then they had turkey burgers with like all different sides that you could get. And then there was the inside in the actual canteen. They had loads of stuff all night. Like they had loaded fries, and I actually have the snowball thing here. Let me have a look.
Oh yeah.
Um, Curries with naan breads, um, churros, meringues, gingerbread, literally everything you could ever want. And then
That's
there
so
was the
cool.
different alcohol places as well. So there was the cocktail bar up in the jazz studio, and then there was all different places around doing like all different kinds of alcohol, and they had like Jello shots at the end of the night and things like that.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
And then there was mocktails as well. They any of the cocktails, you could just ask for the mocktail version, and they would just make it just without the alcohol. Like they would have all the flavors in there still, and that was my favorite thing. I was drinking those all night.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so nice. And I suppose like at a ball, you don't want to get drunk really fast, or obviously if you don't drink, like it's nice to enjoy the night, and so to have
Yeah.
mocktail options is like super important and really good that they
Yeah,
do
there
that.
was loads of non-alcoholic options.
That's really, really good. Like what other events were there? Because I know some balls have like fairground rides and things like that. Was there anything like that? Or like games,
Um,
casinos?
yeah, there was a casino actually, and there was a casino in one of the rooms. There was also a silent disco. There was there was a casino in the bar, and there was karaoke at the end of the night in the college bar as well.
That's so
Um,
cool.
and they also had a drag show on right near the end of the night.
That's so cool. And what time does it go on till?
That went on till I think it ended at like 3 in the morning,
A long
which is
night.
not as late. It's not as late as some of the Mabels, but
Yeah, so Mabel's gone till like the morning and you have breakfast and things, don't you? It's like
yeah,
super
yeah,
crazy.
it's slightly different because it is the middle of winter and it is a bit cold. So
Even in the summer it's cold, so I can't imagine it winter.
yeah, Selwyn does have a Mabel occasionally, like every few years. I think the last one they had was in 2015. But the snowball is every winter, and it's the only college that does it, and it's like the Selwyn thing. Like it's the thing Selwyn is known for, is the winter ball.
So that's like what it's famed for. Like everyone's like, oh yeah. Like if you want to go to a winter ball, you go to Selwyn College.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you say that you're from Selwyn College, the thing that it is known for is like, oh, that's the place that has the snowball.
No way, that's really, really cool. And
Yeah.
how much does it cost?
Um, oh, I can't remember exactly, but what I do remember is I think it was £80, which might seem like a lot, but is nowhere near as much as the Mabels.
Yeah, that's
Like at
cheap
all.
compared to others because like Mabel's like 150 odd, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna go to Jesus Mabel this year, and that was twice that much, you know? But they also, for students who go to Selwyn, offer like if you can't afford the ticket for any reason, they offer like subsidized tickets and different like financial help that can help you buy the tickets if you need that. So if price is the issue but you still really want to go to the snowball, then there is ways that you can help, that they can help you like reduce the price of the tickets.
That's so, so nice. So I suppose it allows everybody to experience it, like irrespective
Yeah,
of their
definitely.
financial background. That's really, really good. And you said that Selwyn is known like to have like the good balls, but does it have like a rep in Cambridge?
Um, I think if Selwyn College is known for anything, because it's quite a small college, so it's not like one of the massive ones that sort of everyone will know. It's known, I think, for being really friendly, and it is
Oh,
also known for the fact that it does really nice lunches because it's right next to Sidgwick site, and it is known for the snowball. If I was going to say anything, it would have to be the Snowball College.
the Snowball College. I like
Yeah.
it. That's really, really cute. I like it. And do you have any like special college traditions that are like specific to Selwyn?
Um, Let me think. I'm not entirely sure. This doesn't really count, but we do have two college dogs, which are very, very cute.
That
I don't
is
think
very
that really
cute.
is a college tradition, but I think the main college tradition at Selwyn would be the snowball, and I don't know, possibly things like we wear the gowns to formals. So not all colleges will wear gowns to formals, but I think I always quite like that
Yeah,
because it makes it feel like it's like a really special occasion, a bit like Hogwarts. So
living out your Harry Potter
I
dreams.
think Selwyn is a really good combination of all of like the tradition and that you want if you want to go to Cambridge, but also it's really like forward thinking. It's, I think, the college with um, the highest proportion of state school entries in all of Cambridge. So whilst it has all of the sort of tradition, formal stuff, it also is very definitely in the 21st century with like its outlook. It's not like stuffy or really posh and backwards or anything like that.
That's really nice. That's good because you do. I guess you get that Cambridge life ball, so you do get like more of a chilled atmosphere in which to live, and you don't feel like the pressure and I know elitism, I guess, that people are scared
Yeah.
of at Oxford and Cambridge. Just so,
Yeah,
like
there's honestly none of that. Like it it surprised me how relaxed it was. You know, you think you get like that total special feeling when you're wearing your gown, you're sitting in like the Hogwarts hall, and it just feels so magical, but it's not in any way like elitist or exclusionary. It's got the best balance of the two, honestly.
That's really, really good to hear. And I think that is so important in a college at
Mm,
Oxford and Cambridge is having that balance and
mm.
being able to feel comfortable where you live. So yeah, I think that's really important. And I've just got like one or two questions to finish off. So
Okay.
which college do you think is the most different to Selwyn?
It would have to be one of the really big, really central colleges. Let me think, because Selwyn was founded in the 1880s, it's quite different from all of the really new colleges, just like by the looks of it. But it's also different from all the really old colleges as well. It has like I said, like a nice mix of the two as a best combination.
Yeah.
It would probably maybe somewhere maybe somewhere like St. John's, because St. John's is a really big college. They have like a massive intake, and it's right in the centre of town. But then that being said, I absolutely love John's. And I've been there for like formals, and I've been there for supervisions, and I've been there to do a play, and I absolutely love it there. So that's just the college that comes to mind, just because of like the size and the location of how different it is.
John's is very, very pretty too, isn't it?
It's
Very,
gorgeous.
very
It's
nice
absolutely stunning.
and
When
huge.
I when my mum came down for the weekend, I took her to John's. It's like this is your classic Cambridge Hogwarts college.
Yeah, it's so dreamy. 'Cause I remember I went on a summer school and stayed in John's, and oh, I could not believe that I was there. It was just really, really
It
pretty.
is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, I suppose it is very different to like 1880s colleges and like your college. Because it's yours quite bricky.
Yeah, it's red brick. It's really beautiful. Like we have a gorgeous chapel. We have lovely gardens. Which like there's a little pond there, and there's all of the big grassy area that you can walk on, and there's like the little wooded area, as
Wow.
well.
So you've got
Yeah, the
quite a lot of
gardens at
land.
Selwyn are really beautiful.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. Because your college sounded similar to mine in that like it's 1800s red brick, and it's not like
Mm.
traditional like, and it's like a nice mix between modern and old
Yeah, definitely.
traditional. But also we don't have that like big gardens. We have like a big quad, but that's about it. But it sounds really nice that you've got quite a lot of land as well, like around the
Yeah,
college.
they're not like huge gardens, but they are like a really nice little place to like go and sit and walk through them on your way to lectures and things like that.
Yeah, that's really, really nice addition to have to your college. And then finally, this might be a tricky one, but if
Ooh.
you couldn't apply to Selwyn, if it didn't exist, which college would you have applied to? I know you're a diehard fan of Selwyn, but
Well, that's difficult because there's a difference to which college I would have applied to versus which college I would apply to now, like if Selwyn was closing down and I had to move college.
okay, do
So,
both.
yeah, if I wasn't able to, if Selwyn literally didn't exist, I would have applied to King's College. And this is because King's did an outreach event with our school, and just because they are like partnered with our part of the UK, and I always felt like outreach events for people from the same like state comprehensive educational backgrounds are really, really important.
Yeah.
Because it defines everything you know about Cambridge. You might go in there thinking it's some sort of like really posh institution that you don't have a chance of getting into, but because of the outreach events, that is like a key to realizing, oh my goodness, I could actually come here. But Selwyn does loads and loads of outreach events. It just happens that they are partnered with areas in West Yorkshire, so they do
Okay.
like they invite schools there and things like that. So it would have been King's just because they are another college I think that really values the outreach and getting students from all sort of backgrounds. But now it would probably be Newnham College, which is an all-girls college, which is actually right next door to Selwyn.
Oh wow.
Um, and I didn't apply to it at first because I thought that all girls colleges were quite like I thought that it would just be people from all girls private schools who would then apply to an all girls college. But now I realise that that's totally wrong, and there's people from sort of all different backgrounds at Newnham. And it's also 1880s red brick. Really, really massive library, really nice accommodation. They have ovens there. I've been there quite a lot. And so, yeah, if you're looking for an all-girls college, then I'd say Newnham. Newnham is great. And it's also right next door to Selwyn, so you'd be next door to the best college.
And you can have a little lunch in Selwyn, so that's
Yeah,
ideal.
exactly.
So what do you think, just last one there, what do you think the environment is like at an all-girls college? How do you see it different to Selwyn?
um, I feel like a lot of the misconceptions I had about all girls colleges were, like I said, that it would be somehow like less inclusive, because it would be like people applying there from private schools mostly. But now I actually realize that that's like a misconception a lot of people have about Cambridge, but really they do welcome people from any backgrounds. And there is a lot of the access and outreach stuff that is done by pretty much every single college.
Yeah.
And I think I've um I've enjoyed being in Unum, and I have some friends from there who are all really lovely. Um, I feel like it seems to me like a very supportive environment, like a very friendly environment. But you could say that about any college. So
Yeah, that is true. It's
I
nice
would say, if don't let yourself, if you're interested in all girls colleges, don't let yourself be put off by the idea that it's like somehow posher or less inclusive than other colleges, because that is definitely not true.
That's really, really good. And I think it's quite interesting that Cambridge still has all-girl colleges because
Mm,
Oxford, we don't have any now. And Somerville, my college in Oxford, used to be all girls, but it became mixed in the 90s and things. So it is just
yeah.
really, really interesting, like to compare what all-girls colleges are like, because I mean, I can't even imagine it. So yeah, that's really, really interesting. And it's really interesting that you'd apply to an all-girls college now having seen it and knowing that it's actually like a really nice environment to be in.
Yeah, but I think I would still apply to Selwyn. But if Selwyn didn't
Yeah.
exist, then it would be next on my list.
Oh yeah, that's really, really nice. Well, I've learned a lot about Selwyn today. I hadn't actually heard of it before today, like before talking to you.
It's a little hidden gem.
Yeah, I think it's great that this interview will hopefully get more people to know about Selwyn and more people will apply because it sounds really, really pretty and really
I
incredible.
hope
So
so. It's
yeah,
absolutely lovely. Everyone there is so friendly. It's quite small, so you get to know everyone in your year. It's got perfect location, and it's got a snowball. I mean, what more could you want?
what more could you want? No, that's really, really great. Thank you so much for being here to talk to me today. It's been super interesting to hear about Selwyn. Yeah, and good luck with the rest of your degree.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.